You know, in classic story formatting, there's of the hero's journey, there's always that point about 85% of the way through in every movie and every good book where the hero is completely lost and just about gives up on the journey. Mine came after I had my eureka moment and figured out the basic technology of how to make a magnetic pickup sound good for a bowed instrument, which I now have the patent on, as you may have heard in other videos, that I was deflated. Not long after that, I just happened to do a Google search, which I do every once in a while, for images of electric violins just to see what's new out there. And lo and behold, I saw something I'd never seen before. I had been pretty hip, you know, to Mark Wood, Viper violins, and all these different things, and had, you know, was open to a lot of crazy things, carbon fiber and all these things. But I saw this kind of old-looking electric violin in there I'd never seen before. It had a sunburst finish, kind of a cool hourglass shape. Turned out to be a Fender electric violin from the late 1950s. Leo Fender, the great guitar maker, yes, had invented an electric violin and produced it in 1950, got the patent for it in 1951, I found out, and it was pretty much what I had invented myself, finding for myself. I was like, oh, I was deflated. It didn't stop me completely, but I ordered a copy from the patent office of his patent drawings and figured out what he had done, and I was pretty close all on my own, and I tweaked a couple things and made a copy for myself, and played that for about a year before I reconstituted myself and said, you know, that patent's long ago expired. Maybe it's time in the violin world for something new now. Maybe I can improve on it. Maybe I can make it better and louder and more versatile, and which I've done. But yes, Leo Fender did in 1959 nail the electric violin. And what happened? Why weren't they out? There's only about 8 of those prototypes floating around in antique shops now that I heard about. Laurie Anderson has one. A fellow over in England has one that I've heard of. If you know of one, let me know. I might want to buy it just for historical value. But he put it out in the market, and it was like crickets. The violin world just was not ready for something that was so futuristic. You know what they say, if you're 1 step ahead of everybody, you're a genius. If you're 2 steps ahead of everybody, you're a crackpot. And that violin was 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody, I think. And the violin world just wasn't ready. Even though the guitar world was flourishing electric guitars. He's selling them by the tens of thousands, if not millions. And the violin world just like, nah, we're not interested. It's too weird. You know, it's too modern. Maybe now the violin world has come around enough to be ready for something like my EB3. I hope so. There's enough crazy stuff out there, and I think this is the best sounding one I wish I had 30 years ago in my earlier career. I love it, and I think I've succeeded in improving on Leo Fender's thing from way back when. And I was humbled. I did figure it out. It took me about a year to get my oomph back, but I did figure it out. So hope you like it. Hope you check one out. Go to outlawfiddle.com and see what's going on with it.